Aloha, everybody. This is Dave Wallace coming to you from my home here in Hawaii, and I'm trying to beat the storm that's coming in from the east. Not too sure if I'm gonna make it, but welcome to Talk Story Time. And today, I'd like to share with you some of the recent things that's been happening here. First of all, I just released my second ebook, and this second ebook is called Picking Winners. And what I did in this ebook is I shared a method of predicting sports that could be used in a wide variety of ways. And in this book, I talk about them. Besides going after sports, you can also use this method to answer simple yes or no questions. And some of the types of questions that I can reduce down to yes or no questions or questions that people ask me as a psychic quite frequently. Number one, and stuff is my spouse cheating on me. Okay. The thing about it is that when you are crafting questions to be answered by yes or no, you need to be careful and mindful of the purpose of the question. So, for example, if someone calls me and asks me, is my husband or wife cheating on me? And what are they asking? Cheating can be stealing money from the bank. Cheating can be cheating on a diet. So, what do you mean? And so you need to reframe that question and ask the question about fidelity. If it's about fidelity, then you have to ask the question, is my husband or wife having sex with another person that they're not married to? And, in today's world and stuff, a wife can be concerned about the husband's fidelity, but the question is no longer, is my husband having sex with another woman? Because there's been many cases out there where the husband is actually having a relationship with another man. So those things are uh, you need to be careful about when you're framing your question to be answered by yes or no. So that's one way that this method of um, forecasting or finding truth can develop into. I also in this ebook I talk about going after a contest that has multiple contestants or multiple answers. Okay, and for example, some of the examples that of contests that have multiple possibilities are NASCAR races, because you have all of these different racers entering the same race, and there's only going to be one uh, first place, second place, or third place. And in races like that, you're only interested in the winner, yeah. And then you have horse races, which pay down. You can go down as far as you want. Normally, the normal bet in horse racing is the winner. The winner, the place which is the second place, and show is third place. And sometimes there's a lot of different bets in horse racing that can be made if you can get those top three finishers. Okay, so these are different applications, and in this ebook that I put out, Picking Winners, Forecasting Sports using ARV. So that's the title of the ebook that I let out. Okay, so um, another thing that I wanted to share with you is recent happenings. For some reason, there's been an uptick in the amount of spiritual activity happening around me, and for recently over the past few weeks, as I work late at night. I wear these glasses, and I'm in my work area, which is our living room at night, and the place is shut off. And there's only one light that's going on, one source of light, actually two sources of light, my computer screen and a small lamp. And as I am working, in the reflections of my glass, a lot of times I see this either white or black thing kind of like coming up from behind. And I've been noticing more of that happening just recently. And so it's something is trying to grab my attention. And so more of that's been going on. And normally, when something like this is kind of like happening in a periphery, when I look back, there's no one there, but I can sense a presence there. And I'm wondering if anybody else been feeling that. There's been a lot of activity, strange things happening. The Russians invading Ukraine, that's a concern. But anytime there's a major event that's happening around the world or about to happen in the world, there's an uptick in spiritual activity. And more people are contacting me about, um, you know, sitting sitting alone in their room while they're eating, and somebody pokes them in the back, and there's nobody there. Or else, like me, they're reading a book late at night. I'm a night owl. I don't go to bed until after 2 o'clock most of the times. So I'm up in the wee hours, and things like that are happening more and more. So, an interesting caller that just we just got through talking for about half hour ago, and she lives on the North Shore, and the place that she lives apparently is being visited by a spirit of a young woman, and this young woman is wearing tattered clothes, and it looked like it was just torn and shredded. And so this is how the spirit appears to um, my new client. I'm going to be investigating that. Normally, when I investigate a spiritual happening such as this, the first thing I do is I pray on it to find out whether or not this entity is harmful to the family. And if the answer I get is really harmful, then I act immediately. Most of the times, these spirits that do appear have a reason and have a purpose why they shrine themselves to the occupants of a home. And so, to find out, I spend time late at night, and I go into a meditative state, and I astral project. And if you ever astral projected, it's interesting. It's a very interesting process. The astral plane is very different from from the world that we see around us. It's kind of like an in-between space. I call it an in-between space because nothing in there is permanent. It's always changing, and so this astral plane that I get onto can take me to any location at any time. So um, that's how I visit a lot of my clients. I go to them in an astral plane and I look. And spirits are more visible when I do this. It's easier to see, it's easier to communicate with them on this astral level. And so I check them out to find out why they're there. And it's just like talking a story to another person for me. Nothing frightening about it, nothing scary. It's just that it's a different place. And if you been there as often as I've been, you can get pretty comfortable in doing this. Anyway, so that's what I do. That's my first contact with spirits, and that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. for this client. After I find out what's happening at the place, then I make a physical visit and sit down and talk to the clients and explain what I learned from this exploratory visit. And sometimes the spirits will tell me about certain things that's happening in the house, so that I can confirm that with the people living there. And so whatever information I get from the spirits, I'll communicate it to the people that called me. And after making that report, we discuss possible solutions to this entity showing up. Sometimes it's a simple thing like, hey, clean clean the dishes from the sink, or clean the house more, or be careful about this certain place in the house. Okay, so I make the current owners aware of what they're facing in the home. We need to remember that you know the living, we share this. We think when we're here, we're the only people in this space. However, we share this space with multiple entities in different time frames. Okay, so this space may look empty to you, but it's filled with a lot of different beings and a lot of other spirits from other time periods that occupying the same space in their own time. So, and sometimes these time shifts, these dimensions become very visible, and sometimes it's either us making the adjustments or the spirits are reaching out and trying to solve something in their own dimension. So these are things that you need to be aware of. Okay. And finally, speaking about these other dimensions, my wife and I are currently working on we're working with Kindle, and I'm going to be releasing some episodes. Okay, and this is a new way that we can publish books on Kindle, and this is by publishing episodes. And I will be, within the next month or two, I will be releasing my first episodes of There's a Ghost in My Kitchen. Okay, and There's a Ghost in My Kitchen is a compilation of stories that some of which I shared on YouTube already, but I'm going to be doing it in written form, and with more details added in there, okay, to complete stories. So uh, be on a watch for There's a Ghost in My Kitchen, and I'll post it on Facebook uh, and Instagram when I'm ready to release these. But my I'm taking on the pen name Kahu Dave, and that's what it's going to be published under. And my co-author will be Auntie L. So I think it's cute. So that's our next project that my wife and I are working on, and I hope you folks enjoy the stories and share it with other people. And check out my new ebook, Picking Winners, as well as my other ebook and paperback that's available called The Journey of Our Souls. Okay. Anyway, that's enough, and the rain is beginning to come down, and it's a good time to end. So, mahalo for watching, and stay tuned for next week. This week, Friday, I will be posting numbers for the Powerball, and that should be interesting. Okay, so until Friday, this is Dave Wallace from Waihawa, Hawaii, saying aloha.